and choose something different. Choose a different thought. Do you have a practice? Literally every single day, we say affirmations in this house, followed by what we are thankful for. Every single day. We cross the railroad tracks on the way to school. We say affirmations all together. I have 4 teenagers. They all still do it because you are never going to be what you don't believe. So, like, you have to believe you are kind, you are strong, you are smart, you bring the joy, you have a positive attitude. I am coachable. I am right. These are all things that we say every single day. And it's rewiring. Like it
That's
just
exactly
works.
what it is. Yeah, you're right.
Let me just say this because I'm super passionate about it. Affirmations are everywhere and people roll their eyes. Okay. There's affirmation cards and affirmation books and affirmation printables and whatever, right? I have one. But every single person is using affirmations. And the people that roll their eyes are saying a negative affirmation. Affirmations don't work, right?
That's an affirmation.
You just said something. That is an affirmation, you know, like, and if you want to say like, oh, this is so hard. I'm so old. I'm so whatever, right? Like that is a belief. That is an affirmation that you are affirming to yourself. And so when we make the mistake, when we don't wake up with our alarm, when we miss a workout, when we say something crummy to someone, whatever it is, the negative experience, what we have to start doing is saying, that's not like me. Because we're all going to mess up. You're not going to have a perfect positive attitude. But when you don't, you, instead of saying, oh my word, like I'm so negative, I'm so lazy, I'm so whatever, because that's a negative affirmation. Instead of saying that, you have to say, that is not like me. I embrace fitness. I am a positive person. I am encouraging. And so when we start to change that conversation up here, it's everything.
Yeah.
I was an academic, not an athlete, right? Like totally a nerd. And yet when I was diagnosed, fitness became a really important part of my story because it felt like something that could be taken away. So my why became very powerful. Today, 12 years later, people will tell you about me that I embrace fitness, right? Like I'm not ripped or awesome or fast. Like I don't care. But it has become who I am. It wasn't who I was.
There's so much interesting in that, Leann, because I think as we kind of like dissect that to say like what's there, I think there's an aspect of that which is exactly what you're just hitting on, where for that person that says like, I can't say the positive affirmation because it's not real. It's not who I am. I think what you're saying, and I think I agree with it, is that there's a dynamic in that which assumes it's fixed, right? And it's this understanding that I'm not being fake by saying this affirmation and claiming that I'm something I'm not. I have the ability, I have agency and control to become that thing or more of that thing or whatever it is. And it's that slight distinction that I think is what people miss sometimes, myself very much included, where that's the power of those affirmations. I'm not lying. I'm not faking it. I'm not just being toxic positivity, but I want to focus on fitness because I know it's going to benefit me. So I will focus on fitness. I'm going to become a fitness person. And by saying that, you create it, you manifest it. And I think people miss that. And that's why they dismiss it sometimes in that. And I think I'm curious your take on this. I think the reason for that sometimes, I can only speak for myself, but is that our feelings and our emotions are so strong and they feel like they are reality. So when you're in a moment in your situation where there's a flare up or your balance is off or whatever, it feels bad. And that feels like the only reality you know. It's that ability to understand like that's a feeling. I have the ability, there's more to it than just that. And that affirmation allows you to step outside that feeling. But that step for me is what's so hard because it feels like, no, but I feel bad. This is bad. That's what I feel. That must be what this is. So to step outside of that is so hard for people to do, I think. I don't know. Curious your take.
It is, right? And let's talk about lifting the heaviest weights, right? We know we're going to get the most growth. So I just want to encourage anybody listening to this. It's okay that it's hard. It should be hard. Like you're going to have the most growth. So I love that you know that it's hard. But when you decide that this is important, that this is going to make a difference in who you are, who you show up to be, how you serve others, then you'll decide to lift the heavy weight. Like you and I both, we've all done hard things, right? Because we've understood the value. And that's like part of my mission is helping people see the value. And I want to say something about affirmations. Well, it's true. The feelings are real. And when we feed those feelings, they become beliefs, and then we're kind of stuck with them. Right. And so that's one of the practices. Like the feeling is just a feeling. And tomorrow we're going to feel good. Like we know they come and go. And it's just don't lean into it. I just want to like shake people and come in and like say,
well, you know what's interesting about that, Leann, just on that point, sorry, but like what I've found is you have to practice that on both sides. When things are good, you want to enjoy it. You want to be in the moment and enjoy it, but you have to remember, just like that other feeling, that's just a feeling too. Like it's going to be gone. You're going to feel bad again at some point, not to make yourself feel bad, but it helps you get to that balanced state with it. So I think it's practicing it on both sides too. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that's an interesting point you make.
No, you're right. No, totally. And some of that is like age and practice, right? And we become more practical. And I have 4 teenagers. So I 100% understand like the ebbs and flows of feelings. But let me say this about affirmations, because I want to make sure that people do not dismiss this. When you say an affirmation that is about something that you want to change or become, okay, the way that you know that you have written the correct affirmation, which by the way, you should write your own. Don't take somebody else's. I mean, buy all the things. I don't care, be American and buy everything. Like I'm all for the economy. But write your own. And the way you know that it's the correct affirmation is if it sounds crazy. Because up until this point, you did not embrace fitness. So you have so many data points from the past week, the past month, the past year that prove that you don't embrace fitness. So your internal self is like, no, like that is not true. Like when you say, I embrace fitness, there's nothing to support it. But today you're going to go for a walk. And now you have a data point. And then the next day you're going to say, I embrace fitness, because that's who you know you want to be. Okay. And you're going to take another walk and it's going to be like, oh, that's another data point. And then the third day you're going to mess up. Okay. You're going to miss it. You're going to not feel good. Your kids are going to whatever. And you're going to say, that's not like me. That's not like me. I embrace fitness. And it's this whole conversation, and it's actually so simple. It's simple. It's not easy, right? But it's simple. And it's something that I love to teach because it might be heavy lifting, but it's worth it, because the strength that you'll get to face and to grow and to change, which we should all be wanting. Okay, let me just pop this in here because this is an important point. Every single person that I have coached or worked with is doing better than they think they are. Okay. So we are our worst critic.
Yes.
So when I hear you say like, this is hard for me, this is hard for me, I believe you, but you're probably better at it than you think you are, or that you think you might be. Okay. And everyone is a work in progress. Perfection is not the goal. So everyone that realizes that they're a work in progress for their entire life makes more progress. Right.
I believe that.
It's true of everyone.
I believe that.
But like we have to lean into that. We're not going for the check mark. We will never get the check mark. So you have to realize that this whole journey is just progress. We're just, and progress is where we find contentment. And so that's why I'm wanting to take my chronic illness community that feels blue, that's focused over here on the crummy, on what they can't change, on a truth that they didn't choose. And I want to help them shift over here, right? Like get excited, write the book, start the business, whatever. I mean, nothing that big.
Whatever it is for them.
Whatever goal that gets you the outcome that you want, right?
It's what I like about what you're saying is, among other things, is there's which resonates deeply with me, is I'll come back to this word logic. There's a deep logic in it where it's not just say it, believe it, and it'll happen. It's actually like you're walking through the steps of the logic of it. And the way I often think about it is, and I hear it in what you're saying, I think of it in terms of like your conscious and your subconscious. Like it's almost like it's playing a game of chess. And the way you're explaining it with the affirmations and the recognizing and how you're talking to yourself, it's almost like you're playing chess with that subconscious. And we have the ability to be better than that. Like the subconscious is unbelievably powerful. It has all the history, all the data points. It knows us so well. But if we do some of the things you're saying and we step back, like we have We're smarter than it though. We have the ability to see things clearer, better if we put in the work. It's not easy, exactly like you said, but we have that ability.